Hey babes, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Lanette.
And this is Getting the D.
Funeral edition.
It's not a laughing matter, actually.
Oh my god, no. I was like, oh, is that too sad? That was really dark.
We are gathered here
to
mourn
today. Yep.
But also celebrate the future life and the present life. But also, like, looking back, it's also okay to look back with happiness too.
I was going to say, I think that we can also celebrate, the marriage. It taught me so much.
Let's be honest, you're all here for the tea of it all, but it's all about the story, but there was goodness in it too.
Of course,
so
totally.
It's okay to honor that as well. But we are bringing flowers to the cemetery of Lanette's heart today. That's an Adele song, so I didn't make that up. I'm not that good.
So this is the story.
So I guess, when did you start dating? How old were you? Let's look back. 18, right?
Okay, so I was 18. I had just moved to Philly from Jersey. Like, I had just graduated high school, moved to Philly to go to hair school. And he was working at a place nearby, and we would just run into each other all the time. One day he just, after seeing him like so many times, he was like, I want to take you out. He started dating when I was 18. And we decided to get married when I was 22. The actual wedding was when I was 23.
Very young.
Yes. But I will say, and I think that this is a really important point that I want to make, is that like, it didn't ever feel like I was checking boxes.
That's great.
I feel like our stories are a little bit different in that way, is like, and not that you weren't, but like, I was so mature at that point that I was like, no, I feel like I am in love and I am ready for marriage. And like, it was very much a marriage that was like out of love. Like, it was like, we're doing this because we want to spend the rest of our lives together, and we know that. And just because I'm young, like, so what? It just made sense. Like, It was like, I don't want to call you my boyfriend anymore. I don't want to call you my girlfriend anymore. Like, you're so much more than that. And I know that you're like my life partner and whatever. So we got married. And we were married for now 8 years.
Okay. Did you renew your vows too at one point?
We did. At 5 years, we went to the little white chapel where Britney Spears got married in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we renewed.
Those pictures were very, very cute.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Those, yeah.
Very like retro vibes. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. So when you two met, you were 18, he was 28, he was 10 years older than you.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think where we were similar in that sense, where my ex was, 7 or 8, like almost 8 years older than me. And in the moment, it doesn't feel funny. It doesn't feel weird. I felt very mature for my age too, like at that time. Like, right. I was little Miss Wife, like immediately.
Yeah, but still, I don't know, like being 32 right now, I wouldn't date a 22-year-old.
Well, that's what I think I'm trying to get at. I feel like it's like that. Yeah, like looking back now that we're at the age we're at.
Right.
Would we ever even look at someone 10 years younger than us?
Because he was the age that I am now. And like, I can't imagine marrying a 22-year-old right
Correct,
now.
Because again, like, we don't know who we are even at that point. Even though I know you're like, I was mature, like same, like I was mature, but I still, looking back, like that girl is not who I am right now.
Not now.
Whatsoever.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah. So I think it's like such a crazy thing to look back and be like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Like, now, like, it's just so, that's the thing about getting older is, like, at the time, no.
I was the same way. I was like, it's fine. Who cares? Like,
totally.
Age is a number, which it is in some cases, but
I think still at that age, though, you're so wildly different. Like, you're 30, your 20s, you grow so much, and then your 30s are, I'm only 2 years into it, and I can see, like, how different and secure and transformational. I don't know. I just can't imagine marrying someone that young at that time. No. Regardless of how mature they are. And there were times, like, honestly, when he turned 30, he broke up with me because he was like, you're so young and I need you to go live. Like, you are.
I'll go for him for that.
You, like, need to go. You need to date. You need to party. You need to do whatever you need to do. And me, like Miss Anxious Attachment, I was 20 and I was like, oh my God, no, like we can't break up. Absolutely not. And, you know, again, in retrospect, I probably should have taken the time.
Yeah.
And then if we still felt aligned, came back together, but I was freaking the fuck out. And I was like, oh my God, no, you're not going to leave me. And I just like refused.
Yeah. So we stayed in it.
Yeah.
And again, not to discount it, it was a beautiful marriage.
It was good. Yeah. And I think that one of the things that we really prided ourselves on was the fact that we were such good communicators.
Yeah.
And now looking back at it, and part of, I mean, like the reason that, you know, the big event that happened is because we weren't communicating. So I think that like this whole situation is so illustrative of like, you gotta fucking communicate with people.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like, and I think we always thought like, because we don't yell and scream at each other, we never fight, that we were good communicators.
Right.
But obviously not.
No, there was a lot on the inside that wasn't being spoken about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all are guilty of that, really, in relationships, especially long-term ones. So marriage, relationship, whatever it may be.
Right. And I think that there were a lot of things that we didn't realize that we were doing. Like, you know, maybe, for example, every nice thing that we had, it was always like, this is for you. Like he would say, this is for you. I want you to be happy. This is for you. But then when I didn't react the way that felt good for him, then he would hold resentment. And, you know, I am speaking for him a little bit, but I mean, it's pretty clear. Like it's, you know, been very evident in conversations that we've had, but it's just like, you don't realize those things when they're happening. Yeah. But then once you're out of it and you're able to look back, you're like, oh shit, we weren't communicating and we were doing things we didn't even realize we were doing.
Kind of cool to like look back actually and just see like what could have changed, but also it's okay that it didn't in the moment, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. And it helps with future relationships so much.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, even though I found out about everything in December, there was definitely some like weird feelings even in like the end of last summer, and just where like, and again, like this is my story, I don't want to speak for him, but like I kind of feel like he felt like he was spinning his wheels maybe and felt very stuck. And I do think that there's something to be said. I mean, I'm not in my 40s, but I think turning 40 is a really scary thing for people. So I don't know, it was kind of like being projected at me that like, you're not reaching your full potential. Like he was saying to me, you're not reaching your full potential. I know that you can do more. I know that this isn't who you are. Like being depressed and being on my phone a lot and like personally being very stuck. Like I was kind of attacked for that a little bit. And maybe that was like his rationale for why he was doing what he was doing.
Right.
But it just, I sort of did feel us like disconnecting. So toward the end of last year, he went on a bachelor party. And I didn't care. I mean, we'd been together for so long, married. It was like, felt really secure. And I was never a jealous person, never nervous that he was doing anything. Like it genuinely never crossed my mind that could even be a thing that would happen, again because we pride ourselves on communication, and he was just like, we were so loyal to each other that I was like, you would never hurt me that bad. Like you would think about me, and you wouldn't ever do that to someone that you love so deeply. So not what happened. So while he was away though, like I had a feeling, and it's so weird because again, like not a jealous person, I never have those feelings. I fucking knew. Ugh. Like I knew.
It's so strong, the intuition.
So he slept with someone there and stayed in contact. Back to like my intuition. So I just knew. And it was like we would FaceTime sometimes and I could just fucking feel it. Yeah. Like I can't explain it. And he would say like, oh, I'm really hungover. I'm just like really not feeling well. And I'm wondering now, or like not even now, because I'm kind of like over it. Like I don't overthink these details anymore. But initially when I found everything out, I was like, was he saying that he's really hungover and not feeling well and it's guilt?
Right.
And
you thought that? You felt that?
Well, he kept saying, I just don't feel good. I don't feel right. Whatever. I want to come home, blah, blah, blah. And I know that it was guilt, but he knew that I could feel it. And so he was just saying, I don't feel good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, like when we would FaceTime and he would be in the room, like he didn't show me the room. So I was like, that's weird. Like we always, like anytime we would go on vacation, we would literally film the whole hotel. That was like a cute little thing that we did for memories.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't even show me the room, I red flags. Like I was like, something's happening.
Yeah.
But again, married for so long, trust each other so much. I was like, maybe I'm being insecure. Like I'm being weird, whatever. So he comes home from this trip, is still like acting very weird, like wants to be out of the house, and was just saying like, I need some space. Like, I feel like I haven't done me in our whole relationship. I feel like I've always been focused on you and blah, blah, blah. And like, this is when he was kind of like, I like need you to step it up and I need like you to reach your full potential. And I feel like it was just like a lot of projecting on me. And
Clearly.
I felt horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like
gaslighting too. So,
well, and I was like, oh, okay, like I'm not being a good wife. Okay. So at this point, I'm like, all right, my husband's unhappy.
Right.
What can I do to make him feel better? What can I do to make him feel more secure in our relationship? Right. So like we started doing stuff like going out at night to like watch basketball games. Like he loves basketball. Or like I started like reading and meditating and using less social media because like those were things that he liked. And the social media was always a problem. Like you're always on your phone. You're always on your phone. And that was like a very big difference between us. Okay. He doesn't have social media. So like he didn't understand my use of it.
Right.
And so I like stopped doing that. I tried so fucking hard to like be whatever would make him feel good.
Yeah.
All the while he's talking to this girl. So the wedding that this bachelor party was for.
Right.
Was in Miami, and how serendipitous that she was on a bachelorette when they initially hooked up was also in Miami the same weekend.
Okay. So he's like, I need space.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, my husband's unhappy. Like maybe I should give him space. Like how did this whole wedding come about of him going by himself?
Right. So, because I had RSVP'd, I had a dress. Like
that feels odd.
I was ready to go to this wedding. Obviously, I'm invited.
Yeah.
When he came to me and was like, I just feel like I need some space. I need to spend time with my friends. He has a lot of friends that live down there. I want to go to this wedding alone. I was like, okay. Weird because I already RSVP'd. Like, do you know how inconvenient that is for the bride and groom? But okay, I already have a dress. I have flights. We have a hotel.
Right.
Like, you just all of a sudden don't want me to come.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Like, everybody else is like, Lanette, obviously.
Like, but in that moment, you weren't like, oh, he's going down there to go hook up with this girl. Because you didn't know about it. Secondly, you were just like, I trust him, so go, I guess. But also, you probably felt... I would think it would make you feel shitty that he was like, I just want to go by myself, or no, not at all.
You know what? I looked at it and I was like, okay, he wants to go and do that. So I'm going to try and find my independence a little bit while he's away. So actually, while he was away, for the first time in my life, I took myself out for drinks. Yeah. I took myself to dinner.
Love it.
I like did all the things that I wanted to do and like did stuff alone. And I was actually like so proud of myself. It felt really good. And it's actually so crazy that I did that because I swear like all of the work that I did for that month where like I was like meditating and getting off of social media and trying to find myself and all that stuff, the universe is fucking crazy because I think it was like, you need this now because shit's about to hit the fucking fan.
It's preparing you.
And it's crazy. Like
it did.
Still being married, but like realizing that I needed to learn myself, take myself out for drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Wild.
weird. I would never do that. I would never do that.
No.
But I was like, I think I should do this.
I love that though.
So
perfect. Okay.
So anyway, so yeah, I was like, yeah, his friends live down there, whatever. Let him go down there, get drunk, fuck around. I don't care. Go do whatever.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Well, literally. So he goes, and I'm finding myself doing my little
with
thing.
Her girly pops.
Yeah, exactly. Going to wine bars, chilling.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe the Saturday, the wedding had happened already, I think. Maybe it was like the Saturday or Sunday or something. I was out drinking I don't know why I said out drinking.
You went out with your girlfriend?
Yeah, we like went, Dominique and I had a little girls' night at Grace and Proper and had like so many martinis. We were drunk singing Mariah Carey in the car. Like it was such a fun night.
Aww.
And then like 1 a.m. I get home and I'm like, whatever, having munchies, eating all my little snacks, like dancing, being drunk. And I was like, I'm going to send him naked pictures because I miss him and whatever. And then I was like, oh no, I'm just going to FaceTime him. Yeah. So I'm like in a bra and underwear, FaceTime him. Why he picked up, we will never know.
We will never know.
But God, thank you so much. And again, it's like 1-ish in the morning and he's like in this like very tacky lobby. And I hate to be like this, but we were fucking bougie.
Yeah.
Like not staying in no shitty hotel.
No.
Like it was the W, it was the Satai, it was a Four Seasons. Like we
weren't skimping. Right.
It's not a motel.
Right. No motels.
Okay. So
this was giving motel.
First red flag.
There was like
okay. Do you remember? Let me like really paint this picture for you of where this man is when I call him.
Okay.
Do you remember, like, it's not popular anymore, but they would do like the wallpaper just at the top. Like it's like a wallpaper border at the top of the walls. Tacky as fuck, first of all.
Yeah.
That was in the background. And I said, he's not home. This is not a place we stay. So I'm like, what are you doing? What is this room? Like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, my friend is fucking around doing this and that and whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, that tracks for his friends. Like, whatever. They're just being messy. That's fine. And then all of a sudden the call just drops. And I'm like, okay, he's drunk. I'm drunk. Whatever. Didn't think that much of it. And then probably like 20 minutes goes by and he calls me back and he's outside freaking the fuck out.
Full panic.
So
okay,
again, my mind's not even going to another woman. Like,
no.
I was like, okay, something happened, someone died.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, is your best friend okay? Is your best friend's kid okay? Did you get in a fight with someone and kill them by accident? Right. Did someone get hit by a car?
We're coming up with everything. Murder. Like murder.
That was the only thing it could be.
We're coming up with manslaughter.
I couldn't have come up with anything else. Like in my mind, there was nothing else that could have been.
Right.
I was like, all right, you're going to prison.
That's that.
Like I'm gonna catch a flight, I guess.
Gonna catch a flight and some legal issues. I don't know.
So he was just so like freaking out that he couldn't even say it. I had to give him options, which was so fucked up. Okay, so I went through the whole list and then finally I was like, oh shit, are you cheating on me? And he was like, yes. Dude,
what?
I have chills now. Like I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like that was so sick. Are you gonna cry?
Yes. Okay.
I meant to bring tissues to this funeral. I forgot.
Baby's first marriage funeral.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh, first of many.
We're blotting.
Oh my God. I really don't want to ruin my blush, you guys.
We're blotting.
Oh,
fine.
So when I just ran away to get the tissues, what I was saying is that was honest to God, and like I've been through a lot. I mean, my dad died and like overdosed suddenly. That was the worst moment of my life, like ever.
Yeah, that's another
so
grief.
Awful.
Yeah.
So he was like, yes, and she is calling you. So he was fucked. Oh, like there was nothing.
Idiot.
Like he had no choice but to tell me at that point, because she found me on Instagram and blew me up.
Girl.
But like girl style. Like, hey, I'm so sorry to tell that. Like I have to tell you this. She just like, she told me literally everything. So I don't know, like that sucked, but I am now so grateful. And even at the time I was so grateful, because I would have gone the rest of our marriage just not even knowing.
And you could have did it again. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny.
No,
but usually
honestly.
That's what happens.
And then, and a lot of people have said like, do you think this was the first time?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
I don't fucking know, but yes.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I do.
Yeah. Like, and the fact that he got caught, so he admitted it, but I get it. I get why people would ask that. You know what I mean?
Of course. Well, because, you know, people say like once a cheater, always a cheater.
Right.
Until you fix your stuff, like, this will keep coming up. So anyway, so yes, this beautiful young girl, not like young girl,
well,
like
she was
in her 20s. Well, no, late 20s.
Okay.
Younger than me. Okay. But beautiful, looks nothing like me, which never really like hurt me. I was kind of like, okay, like go off. But then I was like, oh, is that what you like? Because like,
what's happening? You just wanted something completely different, I guess.
Not, I guess. Or it was just
maybe what, don't feel better.
What was presented.
Stroking the ego at the time.
Yeah. So, you know, someone recently was like, well, wouldn't it hurt you more if she was ugly? And I was like, I don't know.
I think it just hurts all the same.
It hurts the same. But she was beautiful. And I was like, oh, fuck.
It's just the idea of him being intimate. Like that's one of the most intimate things you could do with somebody is physically exchange. Right? We've talked about this.
Yeah. And I think too,
and to just do that, like, they could be ugly. They could be pretty. They could be whatever. It's just.
And it's like not even the sex necessarily. Like, yeah, obviously I don't like that, but it was like the spending time together.
Yeah.
Like me being uninvited to this trip and him spending it with her. So girlie came to me. So grateful for that. And then just like from there out, it was just like finding out more stuff.
Yeah, he comes home.
Yeah, so he did come home early, and I was like, do not ever like think that you're coming home and that this is happening. Like he never came home.
Good.
Like immediately I was like, I don't care where you go, but you're not coming back to this house. And we never lived together again after that. Like that was it. Like I just put my foot down on it and was like, no,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And the conversations afterwards, like I just found out more and more stuff, and he continued lying. And I think that the thing for me that was so hard was like, there was seldom like times where he had empathy for me. It was always like, holy shit, how could I have done this? And I'm like, why is this still about you? When you literally, you know, at the time, I felt like you literally ruined my life. Like you just ruined my fucking life. How is this about you?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like our conversations when he came home. That was the nail in the coffin, to be honest with you. I think that if those had gone differently, an affair I can't deal with. Cheating once, I think that in a good marriage, I think I probably could have communicated and gotten through that. Like I can see that as a mistake, but like an affair is a little different. And then
for him to carry that on for a month, let me just add my little 2 cents.
Right.
And then also gaslight you into saying like, you need to work on this and you need to do this, but all the while is having an affair.
No, literally.
Just like speaks volumes of the character of him. And I'm not, again, I know you married the man, so he has great parts of him.
Yeah.
And I'm really not trying to obliterate the man, but at that moment, it's not okay. He's also not perfect. You know what I mean?
No, it's
like
insane.
to make you sound that you're imperfect and you need things to work on.
Right.
It just makes me sick, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Looking back, I'll get angry all over again, even though we're moving on and we're like love and light.
We're allowed to be angry about it. No,
Yeah.
it is so crazy to go and fuck somebody and then come home to your wife and be like, here's a list of things that I find wrong with you.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Meanwhile, you're texting her, love bombing her,
probably sending pictures with her.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, me listening and being like, oh, okay, let me try and work on this. And then him watching me work on it and continue this with her. It's so fucked up. Yeah. And that's the shit.
It's self-serving.
That's what killed me.
It's self-serving, as was his response, right?
Yeah.
So you finding out.
Yeah.
So
totally.
It was all like pointing back to him.
It was like always like, oh my God, how could I do this? Like, dude, what about me though? Like, what about our marriage? Like,
because he wants you to feel bad for him. By him, like, how could I ever do this?
And
like,
let me tell you something.
You did.
Yeah, I really did.
I know you did. I remember
really
this moment. I was like, no.
Oh, I
absolutely
did.
not. No, I just, the one thing I hate the most is when a man plays the victim. And I know they don't think they're playing a victim, but they are.
No,
Instead of just being like, hey, I fucked up. I am so incredibly sorry. And I know it's going to take forever for me to like ever make up for this. Instead of he's saying, oh, how could I ever do this? I'm so perfect of a human, probably. Like, how can I ever do something this awful?
My track record was so good. I've been such a good husband, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
big eye roll from me. Okay.
I'm like, wait, how are we talking about you right now?
Because I'll say the word again. It's narcissism. But
so
anyway.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. And I think that that's kind of why, like, not like very, very recently, but I have talked about it in the podcast. Like, sometimes I just want to get to be the victim, because immediately after I really didn't, because I was so worried about him.
Because he made himself the victim.
Right.
That's what they do.
And I'm used to trying to protect him and trying to make sure he feels good. And so like, I didn't really get to be the victim because I was like worried.
You were consoling him.
Yeah. Literally, I consoled him for his affair.
Remember I told you in recent episodes about like fight, flight, or fawn?
Yeah.
And instead of like reacting to him, or like you actually fawned over him and you like gave him a hug and you're like, but it's okay. I understand why you did this action. I'm not making excuses for him.
No, but immediately after I was like,
do. Yeah.
I was like, okay. And just because this is how my brain works, I think a lot of women, this is how we operate, where we're like, okay, well, why did this happen? And then I could...
How can I fix it?
Rationalize. Yeah. And honestly, I remember saying to him so many times, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. Like, I get that. But, like, I don't fuck with that. You know, like, so, I can't fuck with this mistake. But,
and then
like...
to make you feel bad about, like, giving up.
Right. Oh, yes.
You ultimately being the decision maker.
Right.
Right. And then that's another thing.
The divorce...
Hated.
Is my fault. Yeah. If anyone, if there's any question, it's my fault.
Yeah. He was like, well, you're the one that wants this. Oh.
Yeah. I think at one point, it was, and like, I hate repeating things that he said because again, like, this is my story, but, I was really upset and really hurting. And he was like, why are you so upset and hurting? This was your choice. Like, I chose the divorce. Like, I wanted it.
I'm getting angry all over again.
No, it's crazy.
It's nuts.
No, I know.
Like, angrily laughing. Okay. Deep breaths for everyone listening to this podcast, because I'm sure you all feel the same way I do.
Yeah.
That was something.
I never got mad at him. Never.
It just says so much about you. It's insane.
Probably.
On a level that like not many people would be. Like, most people would slash that man's tires. Have someone just beat the shit out of him. Which I know, because it's like, you love the man at the end of the day. You married this man, you've been with this man forever. Like, you're not, and you also know him deeper than most people know him. So like you also can understand why he reacts the way he does. But again, making excuses for bad behavior is not going to get you anywhere.
No, I know.
In life. So
yeah,
that's how it goes.
I know, but I did, and I'm still not mad. I think there were like intermittent madness things. Just because,
you have
like,
to allow yourself to be mad, though.
Like, how could you have not considered me the whole fucking time?
Because he was so interested in himself.
The whole time? Like, there was never a time that he was like, wow, this could end in divorce. That never crossed your fucking mind?
I think people cheat because they want to get out of something. Sometimes. I'm not saying for your situation, but like that's definitely, there's like psychological reasons as to why people cheat. And
yeah, I've never like gone down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Like, well, I went on a whole podcast and listened to this woman who like studies that whole thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, to send it to you. But
I know, and again, like, don't want to speak for him or on him necessarily, but like, I know why he cheated.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I know. And it has nothing to do with me.
It never usually does.
I was going to say, I have never ever felt like this was like the act itself was a me thing. Was I not considered? I'm really hurt in it. Yes. But it really had nothing to do with me at all.
No, it typically doesn't when people make decisions like that. That usually impacts themselves and the partner, but they don't really think about that because it really has nothing to do with you.
It really doesn't.
I know when you put it like that, you're like, whoa. So then it removes the anger of it all because you're just like, I know this is not about me, but it's also super hurtful. Like, so it's okay to also be like, I'm fucking angry.
Like this, I don't feel that it was done to me. It just, I was there. Like I was in it. I was involved and not considered. And yeah, I think that that's why I'm not angry is because I do acknowledge.
You were angry at some point though. I'm not trying to like encourage you to be angry, but I feel like
no, I should be angry.
No, there's stages of grief that I feel like.
No, I did get mad for a little bit.
Yeah,
it was weeks ago.
Right, so it's like they come in waves. It's not like
it does.
Yeah, so it's human. I don't think, but it's also again speaks volumes of you as a person. So
I would like to get angrier about things more.
I know, but sometimes you're just like, you know what, you did that, you fucked up, and I'm choosing not to deal with that. So I'm out. Yes. Peace and love.
Yeah,
love and light.
I'm not there yet. I'm like, okay. I don't want you to be happy.
Right.
Like right now I'm not, like if he's doing well, I'm not excited about that.
That's fine.
But I'm looking
You don't have to ever be. You don't have to ever be.
I was talking to someone the other day about you actually, like, and I forget like exactly what the context was, but I was like, you want to talk about a bitch that truly is love and light because she put the work in? I was like, she's bad as fuck because she did the work. And like, that's why you're love and light is because you really took the time and you really worked on yourself and like, you really did the damn thing. And yeah, I don't know. I was like bragging on you so hard the other day.
Lanette, that's so sweet. I appreciate that. Oh my God.
Yeah. But that's like why you can, be happy for your ex and whatever. I'm not even a year out from my situation. So I'm sure I will get there.
You're still so fresh in all of this. Even though we're months in, you're still so fresh with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is Lanette's story, everyone.
The story.
Yeah. That was hard. And I knew it would have been hard. I knew it was going to be hard when you were talking about this.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to cry, to be honest. Because I've told it so many times.
Yeah. But, now it's
it's
there.
So interesting. Like, telling it right now, like, I'm not mad. My life is actually really good. Like,
yeah, but to relive things, it's emotional.
Yeah, but like I feel like I tell it so much more positively than I did at one point, where I'm just kind of like, yeah, so like this is what happened, and you're like, it's fucked up when I.
No, I mean,
but like
you get used to telling traumatic stories sometimes over and over again. I mean, I do it behind the chair.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like with different situations, so you get in a mode of like, how do I say this and get through it. For this, it's like you're telling people who are listening who can maybe relate, and like there's just way more emotion attached to this.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It was cathartic and it's real.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people that would have been mad at her, but she didn't know. I definitely got like annoyed, but I think that that's very normal given the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're not mad at her now. We love her and hope she's doing well.
Hope you're doing great. We love you for being a girl's girl. Let's just say that.
I keep wanting to reach out to her. Have I said this before?
You said you were going to write her a thank you note.
Okay. I have written it and then I'm like, this is weird. I think that I've had to ask myself, what do I want from this?
Yeah, like what are you going to get from that?
What is goal?
Do you feel like it's a closure thing? Do you like what is it? So, and maybe it's one of those things where you write it out and you don't send it.
That's what I mean.
You just
wrote it. Yeah, because I don't know that it would be helpful for her necessarily. Well, I think that what I want to say is like you have changed. You have had a huge impact on someone that you don't even know, and just like you are an angel in my life and you don't even know me. And that's it. And I don't even necessarily like need a response. I just want her to know that like she's very appreciated for what she did.
Yeah.
That's all. And that she's a good person.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think sometimes that acknowledgement is nice, but is it necessary? I don't know.
I think
what
that
do you
was
guys
enough.
think?
Write in.
Write in.
Let us
what
know.
should we do? That is that.
That's all, folks. That's all she wrote.
That?
Well, I really appreciate, and I know everyone's going to appreciate you sharing your story because it's hard to relive it.
Not a fun one.
Not fun to relive. And I mean, we both were crying. So just.
This is the first time we've cried on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that was going to happen.
We made it very far without crying.
We have. But, it was time.
I thought we would cry more.
We're closing the chapter, babes. We're closing that chapter.
We are.
When you think about it, and I'm not trying to discount it. I know it's a learning experience, but those, how many years total?
Total 13.
Those 13 years in, say, 100 years. It's nothing. And I know, time-wise. Like, and I'm not, not trying to discount it.
Right.
But like you have so much more life to live and you have so much more experience and there's probably going to be more Lanette you're going to meet. And like, it's just so fun.
Do you ever feel like you're living like, I feel like I'm living like I'm dying in 10 years. I don't know why.
Well, right now you are because you just have this kind of like manic up and down right now. So you're like, we should do this compulsive, this, that, and the other. It's an emotional response right now.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like there's some days where I'm like, oh, can't take it with you. Let me just spend this money or like whatever it may be.
That is my favorite theory. That is my favorite theory.
Can't take it with you. Could die tomorrow, even though we're not. So,
buy it.
But you could.
Buy the bag.
Nothing's guaranteed, And I will tell you, time heals, even though.
Thank God.
I know people hate that, but it's true.
I'm looking forward to like everything kind of like wrapping, like the house, the divorce, everything, so that I can stop reopening these wounds because time heals, but not if you're
ever. I call this the like
all the time.
Like, is it purgatory?
Yeah.
Like you're in this like in between phase of being out of it completely, but you're still in it a little bit. Like you have like 1 foot in it, 1 foot out of it, because you still have to do all the legal things finalized and all that. So once that's really done, then you'll be like, and I think I told you that. Like that's why it took a little longer than even in my own head because not everything was completely chapter.
This phase is incredibly hard. Like having to continue contact, having to continue seeing the space that we lived in together, the actual the legality aspect of the divorce. Like yes, this in between sucks.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
So but it's moving along here.
We're
already at the end of August, so we're like
halfway.
A year is coming.
Oh, more than halfway through this year. Yeah, that's it, babes. I mean, this was a special one. This little special edition episode. Different than our usual, but it needed to be done. And we're so proud of you.
It did. Thank you.
So proud of you. Seriously. All right. Well, don't forget.
Like and subscribe.
We're still going to ask you, even though we're crying over here. So, love you, babes.
All right. Love you, babes.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Mwah.